In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Well, hello and welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Get a haircut.
Yeah, get a haircut,
Chris. It's gone from bald to fluffy in the last 2 weeks, but it is going back.
You look like you... Not that I even if we were allowed to touch, I'm not sure I would, but if I were to touch your head...
I would glass you before you got the chance.
You're looking kind of velveteen, kind of.
Thank you.
Like a Sylvanian family.
I was going to say you look like a Sylvanian family version of Vision from the Avengers.
I'll take it.
Because you got quite a pronounced widow's peak at the moment.
He's looking very good for a dead man. Oh, the spoilers.
Yeah.
Can I ask a really stupid question?
Sure.
What is a widow's peak? I don't think I've ever really.
I think it's the hairline thing where you get like a point and then it goes.
It's this. So if I'm pointing to my head, there's like a gap in between the bit at the front and then the rest of your hair.
Do you think that has to have the gap? Because you don't have the gap.
No, I don't have the gap.
So
I do have a lopsided hairline. I may have mentioned this before, but I have. If you look at it like this, you can see that one side is higher than the other. I've had that since I was 16, so that's nothing to do with my age, thankfully.
Sure. That was very. That was never really noticeable when you had your kind of epic fringe.
Do you not think? It was all there, but my hair will be growing back, and I will be back to normally doing the sweep, which is exactly
it generally
why I do
does.
The sweep.
It generally does grow. You know.
I hope so. Otherwise, I would not have done it.
Remind me again. What prompted you to brutalize your face?
Well, my
like
barber
that?
at the moment, like most of everything, is closed, and my hair was getting pretty long, and I thought. In the first lockdown, I should have done it, so I just went, let's just do it. And then it did look crap. Still does. but hair grows. I keep reassuring myself that hair grows.
It does. It's weird. Like, I feel during the summer when I didn't shave my head, but I took it down to like the longest setting on my razor, which was like a 12.
Yeah,
and
I mean that's nothing. That's just like whispering at it.
Yeah, but you feel very exposed though. You feel like vulnerable, like a Lego man. You know, there's.
As much as I don't like the look of it, it has been joyous not having to sort my hair out every morning.
Yeah, when I shaved my head, it was the same. Like I was happy to have no maintenance, but unhappy with how I looked. For sure.
When did you shave your head?
Second lockdown,
which was.
No,
I like that we all live our lives by which lockdown we shaved our heads.
It's almost a year.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is, isn't it? Fuck. Yeah, I just did it for the same reason. It was getting out of control. I couldn't go anywhere, and I wanted to be done with it. And I knew I wouldn't see anyone except for you guys on these Zoom calls. So I thought I'd ask for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you came by the house yesterday. He stayed outside, I should say.
Oh, nobody cares, John.
He's a lawless.
Socially distanced, of course.
If you care about this, if you care about stuff like that, you listen to the wrong podcast.
Well, Nick desperately needed some paperwork signing.
Oh, sure.
And but we did it in a very hygienic way. So
I'm not interested.
Nick stood on the porch, and we took like a really long pen, and we kind of like signed it from a distance, and then we both sliced our thumbs. Yeah. And just like pressed them together to like seal it, to really make it official. But apart from that, we were like super, super hygienic.
It was so hygienic. Yeah, it was like the most sterile blood pact I think I've ever done.
Yeah, tradition outweighs hygiene, I would say.
And I'd done like 10 blood packs that morning, so like of those, this was definitely like right up there.
The most at this point, hygienic, sure.
You're reopening wounds that have barely healed, just to crack on with those blood packs, but they had to be done. So.
I cut myself shaving this morning.
Oh.
Which I don't do very often, but when you can feel yourself cutting yourself with the shaver, it's like, oh, Jesus.
Oh,
and then it didn't stop bleeding for quite some time.
Did you when you started as young men, kind of burgeoning, coming into your manhood? When did you when you first started shaving? Were you wet shaving or were you dry shaving?
The problem I had when I was, and I still can't grow a proper beard. It's a source of great embarrassment to me.
It's a lack of character.
When my beard first came in, there was only one bit, so it was like the size of a penny in one specific bit. Like under my
your
chin.
Adam's apple, kind of.
Yeah, like
oh no,
it still only grows on my neck now, but it was just a penny size.
That's
and I was
bizarre.
like, I can't grow this. I'm just gonna have to shave this every day. So I wet shaved it pretty much every day to avoid
just that patch.
That patch to avoid the inevitable ridicule.
And you were right in on the wet shaving.
Yeah.
Fair play.
So I'm about to admit something I don't think I've ever admitted to anyone. I have never wet shaved in my life. No, my dad never taught me. From the off, he gave me a beard trimmer when I started to get the bum fluff, because that's what he used. And he was like, there you go, that'll do. And I've always used beard trimmers. I've never wet shaved. I couldn't teach someone else how to do it because I've never done it.
It's very easy. I mean, having said that, I did cut myself this morning, but it is pretty easy.
Well, I never wet shaved when I was younger. I only started doing it within the last 10 years. Okay, and even then, like, I very, very rarely go kind of clean shaven. But I remember, like, the first few times I was wet shaving, for some reason we had like a bag of like disposable Bic razors.
Nice.
Sure.
And I was like, I'll just use these. No need to get a fancy one. It'll be fine.
That's just worse than rubbing your face with sandpaper.
That's the thing. I remember going to get my hair cut, and this was maybe like after like the third time I'd like wet shaved. And I remember like my barber, like very kind of like in a kind of like brotherly way, going like, "Hey, next time you come in, I'll do you a shave. Yeah. It's fine." You know,
you were like covered in plasters.
It's like I think I had chunks missing like out of my cheeks.
Oh my god!
The things I had when I used to go to that hairdressers, I was leaving once, and I remember I was just getting on my bike, and the guy came running out of the barbers after me, and he caught up with me, and he was like, "Hey, do you want a free wet shave?"
Oh, this happened to me as well in the same location, because I worked near this place.
You'd left and he came running out and said,
"Yeah, I'd gone for a haircut," and he came after me and he said, "Hey, do you want a free wet shave?" Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I've never had one before. That'd be great." And because they were like, they didn't really offer it, so they'd been having training. Right. And then they wanted like some people to test it on.
Yeah, we were guinea pigs basically.
I'd be so suspicious of this. A man chasing me down the road
with a razor.
With a razor. Saying,
with a naked blade.
Saying, "Come back into the place you've already left, because we really want to shave you."
We really want to get this blade really close to you.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If it had been any other establishment than a barber's, like if I just come out of a cinema and the manager ran after me with a blade and was like, "Come back in, I want to shave you."
Yeah, that's weirder. Yes.
Yeah, that is a little weird. But it wasn't like the same day. I had to like book an appointment and come back.
But that's the same as saying, "Oh, I went to the barber's and they wanted me to come back in and watch a film." That would be that would be weird.
Yeah. Although you can have your hair cut while you're
context
watching a movie.
is everything.
I don't know.
Yes. So that's a good point. Context is everything. So I wasn't too weirded out, and I took them up on their generous offer.
Yeah.
And I came back like a week later, and it was horrendous. It was agony.
Yeah.
It was absolute agony.
Did they cut you?
I got lucky because they came to my office and say, "Hey, come have some wet shaves." But another guy in my office went as well, and he said it was horrible. Mine was okay.
Yeah.
Did they? So did they cut you?
No, it was like, because their chair right off the bat didn't have a headrest.
Nice.
So they were like, "Okay, we're just going to lean the chair back." And I was like, "Well, there's no for my head to go." And they're like, "Yeah, you may want to like shuffle down a bit, sir." So I had to kind of like hunch down, which was really uncomfortable. And then he's like, "Okay, we're just going to put like a hot towel on your face." I'm like, "Oh, I've heard about this. This would be nice." So hot towel, very relaxing. Can't complain at this point. And I think what a proper barber would have done after that would be to maybe use, say, an electric razor to take off like
the top,
some of the bulk of it.
Yeah,
you wouldn't just go straight in with a blade.
No, because you could go over the surface of the hairs, couldn't you, and just sort of flatten them down.
But he was doing it, and I felt like, and I was just staring up at the ceiling, so I couldn't see anything. But I felt like he was like individually pulling out like every hair in my face. It was kind of like snagging.
God.
Yeah.
And I was there for ages. I was there for like an hour. And they do it, and then they're like, okay, we're just going to put another hot towel on, let your skin calm down a bit. I'm like, okay, you know. And then I'd hear like people going like, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'd hear like conversations going on above me. I'm
Like, yeah, the whispers, like
what's going on? And then like,
it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this.
I know. And then they,
Why is there so much pus?
it's so thick. And but like, you know, they cut a bit more, and they're like, they've got to be done. They've done like every inch of my face has tasted the blade, and then they're like, let's just go back in. Let's just get a little bit more.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I've felt you go like across my entire face, and then they're finally like, okay, you're done. And I kind of like, you know, climb up, and I'm like, it kind of looks all right. Looks a little sore in places. And then I left, and I got home, and I looked at it closer in a mirror, and I had like tufts, like, you know, little kind of like pokey bits of hair.
Oh my
and my face was so sore. Like they just like carved my face up.
What the hell? I mean, why did they even think they could do it? They clearly had, like, I think I would do better if I
probably would,
wet shave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, they called me back, and the guy called me back like afterwards and said, "Hey,
I'm so sorry.
we're just wondering, like, can we get some feedback on like how, you know, how do you think it was?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, it was really painful. Actually, it was really kind of like uncomfortable." And they're like, "Oh, okay, right." And they kind of like
broke down.
Like they were expecting it to be like glorious feedback.
Well, the conversation ended, and then later on, I got a call back from their manager going like, "Hey, yeah, so you spoke to like Kevin earlier, and I understand you weren't happy with the free shave you got." And I was like, "Yeah, well, you know, he asked for feedback, and I know you said you were training up people." I was like, "But to be honest," I said, "it was very painful, you know, and I think he missed bits and everything." And they were like, "Yeah. Maybe your skin was like super sensitive because you'd never had a wet shave before." I was like, no, I don't think that was it. No,
don't think it was
you fuck off, sir. Don't put that back on the customer. You shit.
They were super defensive about it. They were
I don't think you can start blaming customers' skin.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit unwieldy.
Let's be honest, Mr. Manager, sir. Kevin came at me with a hatchet, and he did so for an hour.
What would have been worse if he'd said, well, Mr. Look, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy your wet shave, but it turns out that man has no association with our business whatsoever.
Yeah, hang on. Where did you say the wet shave was? In a phone booth. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably part of the problem. That man isn't affiliated with us.
Look, it seemed completely above board, and the moment I climbed into the back of that van, like I thought I was in for a very, you know, special time. I wanted to luxuriate.
Yeah, I got in the van, and there was a lot of hair on the floor in the van. There was a lot of skin in there as
well.
But
there was a lot of people.
a lot of people just lying spread eagle in the van.
They were all tied up.
I mean, and it must have been good, because how else would you get like 15 bearded men into the back of a van? Like, you know, quality speaks for itself.
Yeah. It does. The crowds come for when the service is good. Well, yeah, there's a story for us all.
There's a moral there, I feel.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the present day, I quite enjoy the ritual of shaving. It's a nice little break from the world.
You love a good ritual, John.
I do love a good ritual, yeah.
Like your coffee making, your shaving, yeah. The habitual punching of the milkman when he arrives. All those.
He had it coming, that milkman.
Yeah. I made that one up, by the way. That's not a real thing.
No, I mean, like he wishes I punched him. You know, that would be an improvement, a marked improvement.
Well, when he regains the power of speech, he'll be able to tell you himself, won't he?
not when he locks eyes with me across the courtroom. And the man who hurt you, is he in the courtroom here today? I'm just like shaking my head.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're just there in the stands or whatever it's called, just nodding at him, like
just doing the cutthroat symbol.
Yeah.
I will kill you.
Would you ever trust yourself to, let alone wet shave your face, but to wet shave your head? Like,
I thought you were going to say my balls.
No,
I wouldn't do my balls.
No.
I wouldn't do my balls. No.
Wet shave your own head. I think that would be hard because there's a lot of other angles.
Yeah, I have a friend who does wet shave his head.
Really?
And he does it fairly effectively. In that, I can't see any problems with it.
I have a friend who must wet shave his head. Thinking about it, because he is shiny bald all the time. But I've never heard from him how successful he is. I mean,
I suppose it kind of scabs over after the first attempt. It becomes
guess
like
so,
leather.
yeah. How do you do the back though?
It's tricky.
Like, that must
Practice, I reckon.
practice, probably. Yeah.
When you buzz your head, Rev, didn't you have like a weird like circular blade sort of thing, like a
No,
hand
I had
buzzer?
that was the dry shaver I used to use on my face. I have actual hair clippers because I used to shave my head when I was about 14 to about 18. So those still work. So we just use those without the guard on.
Yeah,
we talked about
there's
it
those
before.
ones you can get that are like holding a hockey puck, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then you just rub it all over your head, and it just does it. All
I think
the same
those are probably easier. Ours is
Yeah.
just like a flat shaver.
Right.
I was wondering if there was an equivalent for like wet shaving your head, like a kind of hockey puck with like 3 spinning blades. Or something.
But that could go disastrously wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's
Oh,
called.
yeah.
I think that's called a shuriken. That's what the ninjas
Yeah.
developed it for initially.
I think that's called a magic bullet, like one of those blenders, and you just take the top off, and
Yes.
now you've got like a
Like a
head
slap
shaver.
chop.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the idea of shaving my head gives me the heebie-jeebies. Whereas
Really?
shaving my face is obviously a natural occurrence, but shaving my head, I just feel like I would do something wrong and it would hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that the neck is probably the most like vulnerable place when it comes to exposing it to a blade.
I have to shave my neck. More hair grows on my neck than my actual face, which is disappointing.
Have you ever let it run wild? Get like a proper chin strap?
Not really. It gets annoying. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to grow my beard out, and by about, let's say, 10 days, I'm just like, forget this.
By 10 p.m.
Yeah,
No.
by 10 p.m. Forget this. So no, I've never done it. I don't think I ever will because I think it'll look terrible.
I've got a friend who can grow a beard inside 12 hours.
That's a good effort.
I've been with him, and he wet shaved in the morning, and by like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, he already had a beard.
Jeez
Just
Louise.
like, what? It's insane.
That's impressive.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
Who's got a hate?
Oh, I'll do a hate if you want.
Oh, yeah, go on, why not?
Oh yeah, do a hate.
Seeing as we're doing the show, we might as well do one.
Oh shit, we recorded this.
Oh yeah, apparently.
Okay.
I said I'd record all our conversations from now on for the milkman. So my hate is when people give themselves a nickname.
Okay.
Right.
Now
okay.
I appreciate that people have nicknames and there are different ways of acquiring them, but it's when you say you go up to someone, and this happened to me at university. You go up to someone, hey, nice to meet you, and you shake their hand, and he goes, oh, my name's... well, I'll give you the name of the guy I'm talking about, Sean.
Okay.
This was a guy at uni.
He didn't say that, did he?
I hope he's not listening.
He's like, hi, my name is Sean.
No, not like that. He said it in
let's
a much
say-
more
let's say
smooth
Sean.
way.
Authoritative sort of way, like someone who would know their name. For
He was
example.
basically one of those people, you know, who don't make friends in the first year of university, so they become like a student liaison officer. He was one of them. Anyway, he's not listening to this. So he goes, hi, I'm Sean, but everyone calls me, and I can't remember what his nickname was, so I'll just use one I'm making up, because I can't remember what he actually said. Hi, my name's Sean, but everyone calls me the Dingo. It's like... but it's like,
Do they?
And because you're trying to fit in at university, at the time I went, oh, hi, Dingo. Nice to meet you. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But someone who gives themselves a nickname like that and it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like if I say I'm Chris, my name's Christopher, but call me Chris. That's obviously an organic nickname that you can give yourself, or Nicholas, or Jonathan, Nick and John, whatever. That's fine. But if you give yourself something random and you've just said, right, I'm gonna call myself the Dingo from now on.
I want to
It's
be
cool.
Dingo.
It sounds cool, and it makes me more interesting as a person.
But that's a choice. Like, he made a choice there, didn't he? Because
But what I'm saying is it's the wrong choice.
I'm also saying it's a lie. Because even if he genuinely, either that's his genuine nickname.
This is the
or
thing.
He's
He must have given himself that nickname. Call me the Dingo. He's
need
telling
to-
me to call him that.
We need to get to the bottom of the situation of whether he's saying "call me the Dingo" because he literally is called the Dingo by others, and he's trying to further that,
But
which I think is
I don't
an
go up to
artificial
people-
furthering.
I don't go up to people because I'll explain the origins of my nickname shortly. My nickname is Rev.
Yes.
You have a
But
number of
I have a
nicknames.
number of nicknames.
a number of aliases.
And I'll explain about that shortly. But I wouldn't go up to someone I don't know and go, hi, my name's Chris, but call me the Rev. How much of a dick would I look if I said that?
I completely agree with you. What I'm getting at is that there's two kinds of asshole behavior here we're talking about.
Sure.
There's one where they actually have earned the nickname and they're trying to artificially prolong it,
Yeah.
Or the potentially worse option is they're not actually called this at all, but they're trying
That's
to
the
start
problem.
one with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it could be either of those, but neither is good.
Because if I'd earned the nickname Dingo,
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's quite cool. I'll take that.
You would think someone who's got the nickname the Dingo, for example, that wasn't what he was called. It was something. I've been trying to think and I can't remember. Anyway, they would have had a memorable encounter with a dingo or something of that kind, and people have gone, "Hey, that's cool. I'm going to call you the Dingo."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, all right, fine. I've got a nickname. That's cool." But don't call yourself the fucking Dingo.
No.
But the only defense I'll give the guy is when you're moving away to university, if you're leaving say secondary school, you've spent your entire young life with a group of people, and you've been building up kudos, or maybe everyone hates you, who knows? But that's
the problem. You're giving a false impression of yourself. You're trying to make yourself look more interesting and dynamic than you actually are by giving yourself that nickname.
Yes, but my point is if it was a genuine nickname he'd earned at home, it's like if there was an amazing incident and he ended up being called the Dingo.
Sure,
it's like I'd be so proud of that. When I went to a new location,
You'd
I'd be
want it
like,
to continue.
I
wouldn't give myself that nickname. I'd organically have a conversation that said, and because sometimes at university that kind of thing can come up. What have you got any nicknames? Just as an icebreaker. And you can go, well, actually, this interesting thing happened with the Dingo, and everyone at home calls me the Dingo, and I'd be like, huh, that's cool. Anyway,
Sean, it would be weird though, wouldn't it, if you'd spent your whole childhood being called the Dingo, and then you go to uni and someone asks what your name is, and you're like, well, fuck, I can't say the Dingo. I can't say, hi, I'm the Dingo. So I'll say I'm Sean.
But some people do. That's the problem. I don't think you should be allowed to introduce yourself with your nickname.
But what I'm saying is that that is potentially more their name now than Sean, and that maybe he's trying to keep that going because he needs it.
It's hard. That's like hiding behind an alias, isn't it?
But it's hard when your nickname is you're
Rad
something.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, that's a nickname, I believe.
That's his nickname. That's not anything.
And the Pope.
Hi,
I'm
Jeff,
Pope,
but you can call me the Dalai Lama. But if he just introduces, hi, I'm Dingo, that's a bit more forgiving.
No, it isn't. That's worse, I would say.
I don't know. I've not met every family on the planet.
Hi, I'm Dingo. What, your parents called you Dingo, did they?
You wouldn't say that. You'd be a right asshole.
I'm the asshole.
Yes.
No.
Your parents didn't call you that, you shit.
I would say,
I'm gonna make up a name for you. Your
actual name? What's your actual name? Hi, I'm Dingo.
Name?
No, you're not. Come on. You're not.
What if his full name is? What if his full name is a Dingaloid or something like that?
The difference being that if someone else had come up to me, his mate, or someone who had met him previously, and go, over there, that's the Dingo. Okay.
What if
I'll accept
what if he
that because you've given him that nickname and you've chosen to call him that. He's not given it to himself.
What if he came up and he was like, "Hey, I'm Sean, but everyone calls me Dingo." Is that the same?
I still don't like that. I would want. Hi, Sean. Nice to meet you. I want to get to know you, not your alias.
But
I don't want to know. The Dingo sounds like an arsehole. I want to get to know
but
Sean.
the problem is, you're like, I want to get to know you first. So you're going to be like, hi, what's your name? He goes, oh, my name's Sean, but you can call me. And you're like, no. Save it. Let's get to know each other. And then you go, what's the most interesting thing about you, Sean? And he goes, everyone calls me the Dingo. Because you guarantee that is the most interesting thing about the Dingo.
Yeah, if you don't, that's really interesting, Sean. Please tell me more. And then you don't
let him do it. If you don't let him say that his name is the Dingo, he will find another way to get that into conversation as soon as possible.
That's slightly more acceptable, but don't ask me to call you something that's not your actual name. If someone come up to me and goes, right, here's the situation. So hi, I'm Sean, but everyone calls me the Dingo. I would say, hi, Sean, nice to meet you. If he said that to me,
and then he just look at you and be like,
didn't you hear what I just said? I just said everyone calls me the Dingo. Yes, I did hear that, Sean, and I want to get to know about that.
I still think you're the asshole.
I think you're the asshole.
I don't want you to insist that I call you that, because that's not your name.
But
it's
maybe
a name
it is
you've given
name.
yourself to make yourself seem more fun than you are.
But what if he hadn't chosen it? What if he genuinely been bestowed the name Dingo?
Fine, and I accept that someone can get a nickname through whatever means, but don't introduce yourself as being that thing. Because that's
when
just
are you supposed to slip it into conversation? I
no,
don't.
because you would organically find that out. I don't want someone to tell me what I should call them when it's something stupid like that. It's like my name. I don't know. My name is Alexander, but call me Alex. That's fine because that's part of your name. That's a shortening of your name. It's not a random thing.
So hang on, let's drill down into this because I'm not someone who's had a nickname, so I don't know what this is like. But you, Chris, as you said earlier, you do have a nickname.
Yes.
Rev.
I as a youngster never had a nickname, and I always thought, it'd be quite cool to have a nickname. But if I don't, that's fine, and I would never introduce myself with one. But what happened? What happened years later is at secondary school, our friend was having a pen pal from America come visit or something.
Right.
So all the boys thought, how can we impress this American coming over? So what we decided was to give ourselves titles. So somebody attempted to buy a lordship, and I actually got ordained by the Universal Ministries of Milford, Illinois, to become a reverend. But I never said that's now my nickname. People then just organically started calling me Reverend and Rev and whatever, and that's sort of stuck with several people.
It's a great story.
So that's the story of how I'm known as Rev. But I would never go up to someone and go, Hi, my name's Chris, but everyone calls me the Rev.
But here's what I'm trying to get to. Do you like being called Rev?
I don't mind it.
I call you like I call you Rev quite a lot to the point where it's become calling you Chris is really weird.
That's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
But here's what's strange, right? Because when I first met Chris, he did not introduce himself as, "Hey, I'm Chris, but call me Rev." I would
never do that.
You wouldn't do that, no, as you've made very clear. So, but obviously, I've heard John call you Rev a lot, but I don't feel like I can call you Rev. So now you have this.
You can if you want, but it's your choice. I want it to be your choice.
But this is the thing. It feels weird for me to call you something that I have no concept of the history of. You've told me the story, but I wasn't there.
Exactly. I wouldn't make you become a victim of that story by insisting that you call me Rev.
But is it weird for you to be called both Chris and Rev?
No, I respond to both.
And Rayman.
Rayman, I respond to. That's just sort of an offshoot of my name, and that was given to me by someone else. That wasn't something I said. Start calling me Rayman, please.
But again, like I call you Rayman as easy. That's as easy as breathing. You know, like again,
I actually will call you Rayman sometimes.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying is
I don't mind nickname, and if you've got a cool nickname, I'm all for that. That's great, nice one.
Okay. So bear with me here. It's the first half term of your first semester or term at university. You've had a great 8 weeks with Sean. He's always just been Sean to you.
I knew it. Thing is with Sean, I knew him for like a week, and then I never saw him again.
Okay. Well, hypothetically,
probably because I insulted him.
Sean is like, all right, Chris, because nicknames are off the table. You go, all right, Chris.
Sure.
You're a really cool guy. I've enjoyed hanging out with you. Got a party back home this week with all the mates from home. Do you want to come? We're gonna get wasted. It's gonna be amazing. And you're like, yes, Sean, I would love to come.
Yeah. I will come.
And you sit on the train in 8 hours in stony silence. Yeah. And you get there and you go to the pub, and his mates are all like, Dingo! And everyone's like, Dingo! And they're just like going ape shit. And you're like, and you go, oh yeah, and they're like, who are you, Chris? And you go, who are you, Chris? I'm like, who are you? How do I know your name? They go like, who are you?
Who the hell are you?
And you go, and you go, oh, I go to uni with Dingo. And they go, you weren't fucking there. You've not earned the right.
You can't call him that.
You can't call him that.
I would say I'm terribly sorry. Please explain the story to me of the Dingo, assuming I don't already know it, and then I will decide myself whether or not I will refer to him in this ridiculous nickname.
For you, what is the qualification for whether or not you would start calling him that?
I would need to know the story behind it, and I would want to find that out either through somebody else or if I've asked the person in question. So I wouldn't want them to just say to me, "Oh, I'm the Dingo." Oh, why?
So you're sitting in a village pub with Dingo and all his mates.
Sure.
And they're all telling you, over the course of the evening and several pints, they're telling you how amazing Dingo is and all the things he's done for the group. And on that fateful night, how he earned the title of Dingo.
Yeah.
And you're just like going, yeah, Sean seems like a really interesting guy.
No, but I would. But then I'd say, hey, Sean, I noticed that your friends at home call you the Dingo. Would it be all right if I started doing that?
Oh, so you'd be open to it.
I've been trying for 8 weeks, Chris, to get you.
Chris,
I've
been telling you I'm the Dingo for 8 weeks. Well, I know that, Sean, but what I'm saying is now I've heard the story. Now I can fully appreciate its value, and I don't want you to tell me what to refer to as. It's my choice.
What if the village priest walks by the table and he's like, all right, lads, haven't seen you in a while. My, how you've grown. I hope you've all been having fun at university. You know, Phil, Pete, Ben, Dingo. What a joy. Dingo. What a joy to see you. It seems like yesterday I was christening you.
Yeah, that's not the vicar saying, I christen you Dingo.
Maybe.
That's the vicar realising it's an organic process, getting a nickname, and making the conscious choice himself to call Sean Dingo. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Do not give yourself the nickname.
Were you ever tempted when you went to uni to reinvent yourself and to take that opportunity to do a dingo?
Do a dingo?
Trouble is with me, I'm so recklessly impulsive that I could never pretend to be something I'm not. Not for long, anyway.
Because you'd change your mind and do something else.
I betray myself because I speak my mind too much.
I can honestly say you are perhaps the most honest, one of the most honest people I actually know, which is
you gotta be
a compliment, I think.
Sort of.
I remember on my very first day in secondary school in year 7, I was at the lockers. Bear in mind, no one knew anyone. You know, literally first day, I was putting my stuff in my locker for the first time, and this kid came up to me, and I'll never forget this. His name was Justin Marshall, and he went, we got to be careful he was very confident, you know, I was very quiet. Sure. He was like, got to be careful at secondary school. He could get a bad nickname early on. So how about we set each other nicknames now, and then we'll be sorted.
That's
so
worse.
He said, because he's called Justin Marshall, he was like, I'll be Marshall Mello, and I'll call you Angel Head. And I was like,
you sound like desserts.
And I was like, all right, yeah, cool. Because I was very quiet and very scared of everything and everyone and every single possible outcome of the future. And so I never really talked to him ever again. And I never had that nickname. I'll tell you that for sure. It doesn't work like that, Justin. You can't just Marshall Mello yourself.
You can't just go up to people and go, call me this. No.
No.
Organic process. Thank you.
And he spent the entirety of secondary school talking about some kid called Angel Head, and no one had any fucking idea what he was talking about.
What was going on.
Me and Angel Head the other day. What?
I feel like I've never done it, but I feel like the thing stopping me is the knowledge that I would just automatically fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know, like that first meeting, you're like, you know, we're having a mixer, it's, you know, Freshers Week. I'm like, okay, John, you know, this is your moment. You know, you can put secondary school behind you. You could be like, you could be like a completely new person. This is it. This is your moment. Come on, pick a name. And they go, hey, who are you? And I'd be like, hi, I'm the paladin. And they're like, are you though? I was like, no.
You're the paladin?
No,
I'm not. I back out immediately.
And everyone go like, hey, look, this fucking idiot's calling himself a paladin.
And that actually might make it catch on. Because if the first thing you do is back out of your nickname, they'll probably start calling you it out of spite. Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah. So this is how you do it. We've just cracked it. So what you do, if you want a nickname, here we go. Like Nick's perfect 3 steps. Number 1, hesitantly say that you are something. Because it sounds like you're not committal. I'm the paladin, and then quickly put a step 2, retract it. Oh no, not really. I'm just Nick. Step 3, everyone goes, look at this fucker.
Yeah,
he thinks he can call himself the paladin, and then it's done. It's done.
Or you're like you go for like a really like just badass nickname, and you're like, yeah, you know, folks back home call me Striker, you know, or something like that. And they're like, oh wow, that's a really commanding name. He goes, yeah, no, it really is. I guess I'm just a cool guy. And then I would turn and I would put my foot in a janitor's bucket and I would fall down the stairs. And some hero would run forward and go, look at this fucking bucket head, and that would be it. Like for the rest, you know, I'd fall. My trousers would come off as I'm falling down the stairs.
Yeah, you'd be called like Bucket Bum because your bum came out, and then that's it.
That's another reason nicknames should be organic, because they match the person rather than just making some shit up.
I heard a great story about a kid. A friend of mine told me about a kid in his class who shat himself on like one of the first days of school.
Brilliant.
And they called him Splatterpants for the next like 10 years.
Great stuff. Great stuff. That's what you. That's the kind of story I'm here for.
And then they'd call him Splats for short.
Yeah. Good stuff. There was a kid in our school. John will remember this. Called his name was Simon, but one day he had chips, so everyone started calling him Fat Chip. Yeah. And then he, for the whole of school, he was called Fatty. He wasn't fat. His nickname was just Fatty.
It was no comment on his appearance at all.
He was not fat in any way, shape, or form. And
it sounds like your school was quite like prime nickname territory.
It was actually. It was weird.
Your group of friends have got quite a lot of nicknames in there, haven't you?
Yeah, because we know we're close friends with 3 guys called James, and not one of them goes by James.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, Peak, Snowy, Dodge, Trainer, the Rev.
You sound like a movie from the 80s, like the Babysitter's Club or something. Like you just sound like a gang of youths that all have cool names. I'm kind of jealous, actually.
And then you meet us, and you think, "Oh no, that's disappointing."
Ah, what a shame.
I saw somebody tweeted like a few weeks ago, and it stuck with me. And the tweet was just basically like, "Why is it that all straight guys have a mate called like Bazzy Pete or something?" It's true. Everyone has like a Bazzy Pete.
Yeah, Bazzy Pete or Deep Chris.
What are the ones you always bring up? It was Pim Scutney.
Pim Scutney and Rob Gobshite. Those are like British names from the movie Beer Fest.
But it's the same reason you don't call your dog something stupid, because if you shout out, "Oh, here he is, come on, deep dish, off you come on, let's go.
Chicago town! Come on, Chicago town, come in, come on." Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, delightful.
Well, I think we've come up with some real tangible guidelines for people if they want to.
Those
either
rules
get a specific nickname or get the opposite nickname from what they were hoping for. I think there's some real potential there.
But remember to let people decide for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at least that way, you might end up with more than one.
Yeah.
Or in my case, 0. I've never had one.
Yeah, I never really had one either, to be honest. Jeez.
We tried to make J-Lo happen for a while, but it didn't.
There's only one person who calls me J-Lo now. Yeah. It's weird.
That's your wife?
No, it's Pegram.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's Pigs, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Nick's got a hate, he said.
I did say I've got a hate.
Nick said
I
it
can
first.
wait.
Nick said it first. You should go last.
It's fine.
I hate pyrolytic oven cleaners.
Oh my goodness!
Wait,
what a gear change!
Yeah, let's switch it up and let's get into pyrolytics, because I don't think we've touched on this enough.
I mean, that was my nickname at uni, but
that's quite good because it's got pyro and lit in it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell,
it's good.
That's how you know.
I'm pyrolytic, and then I shit myself. I'll fucking splatterpants over it.
It's Splatterpants, he's back for a sequel. So for those who don't know, these are ovens that clean themselves. Or I should put in inverted commas, clean themselves. Because what they actually do is they just get really, really hot and turn everything inside to ash. Oh. That's the principle of it. And I got burned. Not literally.
No, literally, figuratively.
But like, I'm a bit scared. I was a bit scared of the idea of these, because it's like that it gets up to like 7 million degrees or something in there, and it locks the door so that you can't open it because of how.
I feel like you've just made that figure up.
No,
7 million degrees.
All right,
that's not a number.
Do numbers go up to 7 million? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, in this instruction manual, they do. And I was scared of it to start with, and then ours literally did explode, and we had to call the fire brigade, and it was a whole thing.
The thing is, this was quite a while ago. Has it stopped exploding yet?
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is like, the explosion of the oven happened quite a while ago, and this may have come up in the podcast in the past. I can't remember if it did, but either way. It was broken. The pyrolytic thing didn't work properly. It literally burst into flames inside the oven. The glass exploded outwards from the front of it. It burnt the floor with like burning globules of burning glass. And we had to call the fire brigade. They took the whole oven out and threw it into the road. You know, stopped a couple of
Still
cars.
on fire.
I like the idea the fire brigade just turned up. Shit, let's get rid of it. Just throw it into the road.
It's like a fireball.
It's like 99. Hello, 999. Yes, my pyrolytic oven appears. Oh, fucking hell! Jesus
Another
Christ!
one!
Lads, get down there. Deep dish, come on.
Bazzy Pete!
Deep dish, pyrolit, let's go.
The thing is, if there's a fireman called Bazzy Pete, you can guarantee that the fire engine's already out of the station, and then the chief leans out the window. He's like, "Bazzy Pete, hurry up!" And the guy, like half dressed, like pulling his trousers on as he's running. What a lad!
Running behind, like carrying a load of hoses under his arms. Come on, Bazzy, keep up.
Got like a hose wrapped round his waist.
He's for a belt. So yeah. So I had an experience. You could say I've been scarred by the fact that I had a malfunctioning pyrolytic oven. But now we've done it a couple of times since the time it exploded, and it hasn't exploded. Sure,
That's good news.
Sure,
but I'm scared of it every single time.
I would be, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just a big, hot, scary, locked box in my house, and I just find myself sat there just watching it the whole time, and it takes like 45 minutes.
I like that you're so scared, but you're not that scared that you won't just clean it yourself.
Well, it's.
I might be scared, but damn, I'm lazy.
I like it's designed. It's like it takes all the stress and effort out of cleaning your oven, but you do have to sit there for 45 minutes staring at it in utter terror.
This is the thing. Is it actually easier after all? I don't know. I pay a lot of attention to it while it's doing its thing. But yeah, I'm not going to clean it by hand. Have you tried that?
I've
Jesus.
never cleaned an oven, and probably never will.
I've tried.
No.
I do like the idea that you turn it on. As you say, it goes up to like 7 million degrees.
Yeah.
And like the only reason you know it's on is that you can see through your skin. It's just like there's this glow coming from downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
weird.
like I'm upstairs and I can suddenly just like I'm squinting, like I'm looking into the sun, but I'm upstairs like
like
4
ow,
rooms
my
away.
testicles.
I'm like, Ali, have you turned the pyrolytic on? And she's like, I can't hear you over the sun. Yeah.
We have a similar oven to the two of you. Nick.
The two of me.
I mean Nick.
The two of Nick's.
Yeah, no, Nick and his other half, Ali. We have a similar oven, and we have never turned on the pyrolytic cleaner.
It's better that way.
Because of your incident, basically.
Really?
Yeah. Even just this morning, we were saying like, "God, we really should clean the oven at some point." We're not going to turn the pyrolytic oven on, though.
But isn't your oven like brand new?
Yeah, it's like 2 years old.
Yeah. But
I mean, that's old enough.
It's not likely to explode. But I suppose Nick's was brand new as well.
Nick's was younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I wouldn't bother switching it on then.
The age was. To be fair, the age was irrelevant. I had a faulty oven which exploded.
There you go, then.
But still, like I still don't know if that's a lot of heat. That's a lot of energy to have in a sealed box in your kitchen, just waiting to do something. Like
because generally when you take like 7 million degrees temperature and put it in a sealed box, I think that's what Wikipedia would define as a bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or a
It just keeps getting hotter.
How is there more heat?
I could have powered the national grid for a week off what happened in my kitchen.
I feel like, because I've seen your kitchen since the incident, and I feel that like while wounds heal, your floor has not healed, has it? Because
it has not.
You have great big burn marks.
We have a vinyl floor, and it's just speckled in front of the oven. It's just speckled with what looks like melted patches where little bits of glass landed and burnt the vinyl.
It's an important reminder of what could happen.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to be fixing next week, actually, is I'm going to be fixing that patch of the floor. But it's been ages. We've taken so long to do it. But
how are you going to fix it?
We're going to cut that section of the vinyl flooring out. So basically, it's vinyl flooring that looks like floorboards, but it isn't floorboards.
Nice.
So I can cut along the edges of where the floorboards are and create,
Put a pot plant over it.
Put a rug over it.
Put a rug over it. There you go. Job done.
Yeah. But maybe, and then we've got more replacement flooring. I'm going to cut the same shape out of that, slot it in. Oh, slot it. Oh, right in.
That'll be very satisfying.
Hopefully. I'll probably fuck it up.
That sort of thing drives me mad. Like we spent months, like if not, months, like doing all the flooring in this house. Like Lucy and I kind of putting like the little click panels together.
Click, clack.
And like in the entire house, it's pretty good. Like we got better as we went along. It's not bad at all. And right in the middle of the lounge, one floorboard has like disconnected.
Oh,
That
for
is
fuck's
a
sake!
nightmare, isn't it?
And so we've put it under a rug, literally,
Yeah,
because it's like, well, what can I do?
What can you
Nothing.
do?
Yeah,
Because
you'd
if
have
it's
to
in
take the
middle,
entire thing off.
you'd have to take the whole thing up. Yeah.
Nightmare.
And why
it's
did
better
that
just
even
to put
happen?
something over it, even if that thing is like glaringly obvious.
Yeah. Well, you could put like a model elephant over it,
Yeah,
and then it
that'd
would
be good.
It would be like that well-known phrase.
Make it like a centerpiece of the room.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a feature. It really ground my gears, that. But
Yeah.
you put a big thick rug over it. It's not a problem.
No worries, mate. No worries.
No one has to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't. So yeah, that's really all I've got to say about that. I'm just terrified of my own oven, and I hate it. I hate it.
What a way to live.
Every time I use it, I'm just scared of it.
Did you see? There was a guy who, again, the wonders of social media. A guy, like those air cookers.
Yeah, air fryers or something.
An air fryer, yeah.
Yeah.
A guy, for the benefit of society, decided to put a sausage in an air fryer for an hour.
Brilliant.
For an hour?
To see what would happen. Because it's meant to like cook a whole turkey in like 2 minutes, isn't it, or something like that?
Jesus.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it goes to 7 million degrees.
So he just kept posting pictures of it, and he's like, he puts his sausage in, and he's like, 10 minutes in, I was starting to think this wasn't a very good idea. It's like the photos of this thing, and it's just becoming like, it looks like a turd. Like, to be honest, like,
That's what I'm sort of picturing, if I'm honest.
Yeah, a black turd. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, kind of 24 minutes. My wife has evacuated the house.
Yeah.
The smell is ungodly, and he keeps going, and it was horrendous, very, very funny. But the thing that came out at the end, he said like the smell just completely
It ruined his fryer.
Oh, that's Gog's fryer now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Belongs to the
it's
pork
with
god.
Jesus now.
It's in a better place.
I've got a hate.
Go on.
Hit me.
I hate the ocean and the unrelenting horrors that live beneath its surface.
I mean, this feels pretty big.
You're surrounded by it.
Indeed, and that gives me trouble, like knowing about it. And the reason I bring it up is I've been playing a new video game. Well, a new video game.
Is it
for
called
me.
Echo the Dolphin?
No,
That's not new.
Oh, damn it.
well,
Shit.
it's called Subnautica. It's a couple of years old, but the gimmick is you're on a spaceship,
Sure.
and the game opens with the spaceship crashing onto an alien planet.
Bad start.
So literally the first thing you do is you strap yourself into an escape pod. Boom, you get blown out the hatch. And then like a piece of metal hits you in the head and you black out.
Oh,
Oh.
thanks.
And when you wake up, you're alive, but your escape pod is on fire. So you get out your seat, you hose the escape pod down. The escape pod is just big enough to walk around in. You open the lid and you are floating on the surface of the ocean.
Oh.
And there is no solid ground. You are just and you can see like your spaceship like half above the water, kind of like burning in the distance. And the game is like, off you go.
Ooh.
And
So
it's
you're literally in the middle of the ocean with nothing.
With nothing. Yeah, it's a survival game. And
I'd probably just switch it off.
It is both.
Sounds
the
very
game
stressful.
the game is beautiful. Like you go above the ocean, there's nothing. It's just flat water and blue skies. You go under the water, and there's a rich, deeply realized underwater landscape to explore. It is a work of genius and beauty, and it produces an experience I can only describe as deeply unpleasant because it is monstrous. You land in the area you immediately start exploring is called like the safe shallows.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
And there's even a couple of bits where the water's only like 5 foot deep or something, and you can stick your head above water, and
Oh, I'd just stay there.
it's lovely. Yeah,
Stand there
The thing is-
and wait to be rescued.
Wait for a fish to come into my hands.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, as reasons transpire, rescue isn't coming. So
That's a
you
shame.
you basically have to build a rocket to escape the planet.
Oh.
So that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
Does
you
it,
have
does
like
it turn out the planet is Earth?
no.
All along.
What a twist!
turns out-
What a
It
twist!
turns out the water was actually monkeys.
Yes.
Yes,
You were swimming in monkeys, and they
that sounds about
except
right.
there's plenty of the apes.
That was my next guess.
Yeah. But no, so you're in the safe shallows, and there's lots of little fish swimming around. You can you can grab a fish, you can eat a fish,
Just raw, like.
Yeah, or you can cook it because you
good.
get like you have like a Star Trek-esque replicator.
Oh,
So,
that's handy.
so
for
if
when
you
you're surviving.
find like minerals, you can start building stuff. So
you could replicate more fish.
no, plenty of fish in the ocean, as they say.
They do
plenty
say
of fish
that.
in the sea. So like, I'm going around getting a few little fish. I'm like, oh, what's this fish called? Oh, it's called a peeper. Oh, num num num, it's delicious,
What's
and
this
then,
fish called? Dingo. Oh, cool.
Oh, dingo, yeah. All right, dingo. Yeah.
Well, if he was given that name, that's fine.
And things like there's a couple of and then there's this fish. I can't remember what it's called. It's a bit like a shark.
Okay.
It's maybe like the size of a shark. And like the first time you run across one of them, it makes like a little screamy noise and comes at you, gives you like a little nip, and I'm like, oh gosh, that was startling. But you know what? Not too bad. Only took a bit of health off. I'm sure there isn't anything worse in this game.
Of course.
And then you build like you build like a little sea buggy thing to like kind of swim along with, got a little propeller, and then you build a bigger submarine, and then you build like a really big submarine.
Do you build all these things out of items from the ocean?
Yes, but using a sci-fi builder device.
So he makes them out of fish bones.
Yeah, but it's mostly made out of fish bones.
Yeah.
The problem is,
like most submarines.
as you take your submarine into deeper water, the ground kind of drops away from you, and it gets very, very dark, and you can hear things moving.
Oh no!
It is profoundly terrifying. I've only had one moment where I just outright kind of lost my shit. There are these Leviathan class creatures which are just like colossal, and it's like
But you keep coming back, and you keep playing.
Yeah. I have played for like 26 hours. Like, it is very enjoyable.
Are you saying you're scared of this ocean or the ocean, our ocean?
I'm scared of every ocean.
All the oceans.
I feel that this hypothetical, fictional ocean is only reminding me of how terrifying it is.
Would you say that this game has ruined oceans for you? Like,
I think they were already ruined.
Thanks, Attenborough.
How do you feel about James Cameron and his adventures?
Yeah, James Cameron's weird though. He just wants to go live under the sea.
I watched a documentary with James Cameron recently, and
you watched it with him.
I watched it with James Cameron about James Cameron. He's very self-centered. Then we watched What About Me. No, it was sort of 20 years after the Titanic, and it was all the stuff because he's obviously gone down there quite a few times
to finish the job,
and to finish the job. And that is terrifying because obviously there are no human remains there, but there are a lot of shoes. Like, and it's just because human remains have obviously been worn away or eroded or whatever. But their shoes don't erode in the ocean, so it's just people's shoes everywhere, and it's just like that is haunting.
How aren't their clothes?
Not really. No, sort of clothes either float away, I guess, or just disintegrate.
But I guess a shoe would sink, wouldn't it?
I guess so. Shoe. But they are just
immortal
everywhere. And it's just like, this is horrible.
That's really messed up. Yeah. That's going to live with me. Thanks for that.
I swear we talked about it before. But when I lived in Canada, in Canada once.
You lived in Canada?
The summer I was living in Vancouver, pretty much every day, a foot was washing up on the beach.
Oh, you did tell us about this. I don't know if you did on the podcast, but yes, you did.
I remember when I was in Canada with you briefly, a guy on the coach beheaded a fellow passenger as well.
Yes.
That's sort of taking this in a different direction, but
we weren't on that particular bus. But...
No, we weren't on that bus, which was good news for
That's
for
good
us.
News for your psychological
And it was just like, Jesus Christ, what is it with Canadians and limbs?
But what was the deal with the feet washing up? There was like a shipping container
They
or something.
figured there was a shipping container somewhere out there full of bodies. And they were kind of, the feet were just floating away because like the sneakers were buoyant or something like that.
Buoyant.
But yeah, the thing about the ocean is, it is horrendous.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I can't think of any deeper anxiety than being on the surface. And I remember once actually when I was at uni, we went to like a Dingo. Like we went like back to Dingo's hometown once for like a little party.
Sounds terrible.
And in Dingo's local area, there was an abandoned quarry.
Oh no!
And they were like, "Let's go hang out at the quarry. We'll go and we'll go." I
would say no, thank you. I don't like you. I don't like your nickname, and I don't want to go to an abandoned quarry with you. Good day.
Well, a bunch of us went to this quarry, and people just like it was like a massive pit which had just filled with water, like God knows over how many years. So it was like a big artificial lake, really. You had to walk quite a bit to get to it. We just kind of like hung out on the quote unquote beach, and people having a few drinks and just kind of. Now I'm saying it out loud. This does sound like at least one of us should have died.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like a horror movie.
It does sound like a teen horror, yeah.
Yeah.
But we, I remember going out swimming like into the middle of this lake.
Bad idea.
And it was honestly some of the blackest water I've ever experienced in my life, because it was so. It wasn't like a natural. Well, yeah. Well, my eyes were closed. But it was because it was an artificial. A man-made hole. It wasn't like a lake would have like a natural kind of curve to it.
Sure.
This just went kind of like straight down.
Oh my God.
And there was this feeling of like that just goes to the bottom of the earth.
It's like you're floating over a hole, which doesn't normally happen in life. If you're over a hole, you're probably falling down it normally. I mean, I don't want to get like into science and shit. But basically,
that was too technical for me.
I know. So I'll put it another way.
Break it down for me, yeah.
If you'll fall down a hole if you're over a hole, typically.
Okay, thank you. That clears that up. Thank you.
Does that help that? Cool. Yeah. But but here's a twist on it. And when it's full of water, now it's like you're floating over the hole.
Falling down the holey.
Falling down hole.
It's like air, but thicker, and wetter, really.
Syrupy air.
Yeah.
Oof.
So in addition to just like trying to imagine what horrors lie beneath it, also pretty much like every sea creature, apart from maybe the dolphin, is a godless monster. I think that's why I enjoy fish so much, eating them, because I'm getting revenge.
They are delicious.
Speaking of Attenborough, years ago when you used to get like a nature documentary at like 6 p.m. on a Sunday.
Oh, you still do? There's a good one on at the moment. Called something.
Oh, great. Cool. I'll check it out.
It's a great trailer. Yeah.
Thanks for the elevator.
Sunday tea times.
Sunday tea time called something.
I remember it was a little, when I was young, it was a little ritual in our house, Sunday evening, we'd have like beans on toast, watch some wholesome TV, from the Beeb. And it's a nature documentary about deep underwater. And I remember finishing my beans on toast and going ooh, that was a lovely beans on toast. I think I'll have my pudding. What's that? Oh, it's a vanilla yogurt. Oh, this will be nice.
Ooh.
And then I lift it up to my mouth, and I look up at the screen, and literally the first thing I see is the mating rituals of two types of sea slug.
Nice.
Where they open their mouth and then another mouth comes out from inside.
That's not what you want.
It was one of the most vividly upsetting things I've ever seen, and I still remember it. And I did not finish that yogurt. I honestly could not bring myself to eat it. It was so
I heard
disgusting.
Something about sea slugs, and that the way they have sex in stacks. So there'll be a female sea slug, and then there'll be a male sea slug on top of the female, and then another female will come on top of that male, and she can have sex with the male below.
Sweet Jesus.
And then they form towers of sexy time.
No.
So
are you sure you weren't watching a different type of film?
I mean, I have Google knows me quite well now.
Yeah.
It does present me with what I want to see.
Yeah,
quite
rather than what you've asked for.
Rather than what I deserve.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, I do believe this was on the television.
Oh, okay. The worst thing about the ocean, I think, and
tell me,
get ready.
It's where it gets everywhere.
It gets yeah. I don't like sand. Is that we've probably not seen all of it.
No.
And
I think that's one of the coolest things about it. That's
cool. Scary, no?
Yeah, but I don't have to do it. Other people can risk their lives and go down in, because I remember watching one of these documentaries too, and they were in this submarine with this circular kind of pod at the front of it, and they were if we go much deeper, the pressure of the water above will crack this, and we'll die, obviously.
Oh.
And the idea of just totally freaked me out for days afterwards was thinking about the fact that the pressure is because there's this stack of stuff literally sat on top of you like a pile of books or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just weighs a shitload. That's what the pressure is. And I was suddenly very infinitely aware of the idea of being deep underwater and getting crushed. That was a horrifying thought.
I feel I'm a bit of an expert now because I've played at least 26 hours of Subnautica, a popular video game.
You're like a marine biologist now.
Yeah,
Basically, exactly.
That's a real fear. I was having some crushing issues earlier when I was playing.
Also, there's a legendary fish you might know of called the blobfish, which is a very ugly fish, typically when pictures are taken of it. But the reason it's ugly is because it's meant to live all the way down there under loads of pressure, and it's sort of all contained by the pressure. But when you bring it up, it just expands, and it basically pops and dies. It's kind of horrifying. And what you're looking at when you Google a blobfish, what you're looking at is a corpse of a bloated,
so all those photos
creature.
were taken like a second before it just detonated.
And killed the photographer.
Quick, take the photo now. Take it now. No, too late. Next one.
Oh, great. Yeah, now we're covered in it.
Yeah.
That's perhaps one of the most interesting things I learned about sperm whales when I was doing a degree. Because they said they spend like 90% of their life at deep, deep depths. So whenever we draw a sperm whale, everyone thinks that's what they look like. But that's what they look like one day a week. Like a sperm whale might be entirely kind of like crumpled up like a... I don't know, like an old beer can or something most of the time.
Like a car in a car crusher.
Ugh.
Yeah, the ocean sucks.
Ocean's weird.
Yeah.
I agree.
We actually have some listener hates and loves this week.
Goodness. Did we request those, or have they come independently?
No, because our listeners are all,
they're so
individuals, they're free spirits. They can
that's right.
say whatever they like.
It pays to be reminded of that sometimes.
How about I read some out?
Well, you're the only one with them in front of you, John, so that's probably a good idea.
Well, I was trying to kind of, avoid saying it out loud.
We've let them behind the curtain.
They've seen inside the kimono.
Okay, so long-time listener and long-time commenter Andrew Stevens, friend of the show, says...
Steve-O.
Well, he shared a link to an article about how Warner Brothers, the cinematic powerhouse, has set a date for a movie called Wonka.
Oh, yeah.
Which is to be an origin story focusing on the life of Willy Wonka.
An origin story of Willy Wonka?
Yes.
Okay. Who's crying out for that?
Presumably someone wants to watch that.
Well,
you have to wonder, don't you? It's like a key demographic.
I can't imagine enough people would want to have that story in front of them that they think, yeah, let's spend millions of dollars making that.
It is a weird...
Surely there will be, but then I can't imagine knowing that many people who would.
In the story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, does he not make reference to the fact that he sort of travelled all around the world? That's where he got the Oompa Loompas from. He found them in a deep, dark jungle. He just stole them all away and kidnapped them.
That's going to look great on screen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that always goes down well, doesn't it?
Enslaving an entire race.
How are they... Yeah, okay, now I want to see this, because I want to know how they're going to deal with that.
It is a horror, this movie.
Yeah, so what's his hate, specifically? Just that?
Oh, sorry, you want more?
It just hates the idea of
I thought that was pretty self-explanatory, really.
I mean, what? Like, just the idea of making that film or those sorts of films? Or
I think he's just saying it's half-assed. It's a lazy cash grab.
Oh, definitely.
Although he said he is a fan of the one-word title.
Wonka!
I mean, I don't know what you can do with that. Like, you can't call it Willy.
No, I guess not. That would be funny. I'd probably go watch it. I'd probably go watch that.
It's lazy. It's lazy in the sense that it's an existing property, it's an existing character story. We could just artificially come up with some origin story for him. It's irrelevant. It's also lazy in the title. It's just someone barking Wonka at you and just expecting you to go watch it. Watch this movie. Watch Wonka.
Isn't that like
that's the trailer?
There's like a formula there, isn't there? Don't a lot of movies do that when they're expanding the franchise, but they're
just
not
say one word.
They're not trying to make it. It's not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory 2 or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory : Origins.
Well, far be it from me to suggest that the Star Wars franchise is lazy, but we obviously had Solo when we are shortly getting Andor.
Yes,
which is about the memorable character Cassian from Rogue One.
And aren't they doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Which is called Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is less lazy than just Kenobi.
Oh, they're not calling it Kenobi.
It's called Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, still.
But, you know, it's
They should
just,
call
it's
it
a similar
Obi-
principle.
The thing is that with a
One.
title, there's potential for something. You could do something with a title. But it is lazy when you just, because the fans already know it's about Han Solo, or the fans already know it's about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's just call it Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Like,
That'll
let's
do.
just call it Solo. Let's just call it Wonka.
They should have called
Willy
it.
Wonka.
They should have called it Gentle Ben.
Gentle Ben, no. As critical as I am of the Star Wars universe, and I feel deservingly so,
Sure.
I feel there's more scope for expanding even Cassian Andor than there is Wonka. I would say.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I don't. It's like they're trying to build a franchise out of something, and it's half-assed. It's weird. It's very weird.
You'll end up seeing how Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was built in the factory.
But that'd be called Chitty.
Chitty, that would be
Or
Bang Bang Bang.
Bang Bang sounds like a lost Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And it's just like a really somber tune.
Really gritty.
But in the background, and you'll have those breakdown videos go, if you listen to this somber tune carefully, you'll notice it actually plays, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Bang Bang.
But in a somber way.
Yeah.
And it just
It's
fades
like
in.
Inception.
Really slow fade in. It just goes, bang, bang. Coming to cinemas November.
I'd
And
watch
it would be like the teaser poster would be like a really subtle photo of a car, like just for headlight or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just the tire trim or something. Yeah.
And it would have like a candy cane like hanging
I
off.
expect we're stealing someone's ideas here.
Or giving people
Or giving
ideas.
people
and
ideas.
shit.
Or I mean, if they can make a Wonka, we can pitch them Chitty or Bang Bang. What did we call it? I've forgotten.
I mean, I would prefer Bang Bang, if I'm honest.
The main character was called was he called Caracatus Potts or something? Wasn't that his name?
Oh, God.
Correct.
I don't remember this movie.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
All I know is the cars in it. And the child catcher.
Yes.
But I can't remember anyone's name. Catcher in the
Dark
Rye.
Origins.
Oh. Got another community hate?
We certainly do. This is from Jack, who is, this is nice, a long-time listener, first-time caller. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hi,
Hi,
Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Thanks for joining us.
How are you?
Don't hijack the show, though.
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
Jack writes, I love a good bit of spam.
I like spam. I always
Easy
have a
to
tin
make.
of emergency spam in my house.
That's not true.
That is true.
Really?
That is. Well, I haven't at the moment because I ate it. But I buy spam just in case.
I was going to say something weird and ironic, but you actually have spam in your house.
Yeah. Well, no, I ate it.
You try to.
But
You
Well,
normally
I-
have spam in your house.
I normally have spam in the house. Yeah.
Why emergency spam? Why?
Or is he
emergency?
talking about emails?
I know, he says, I love a good bit of spam.
Yeah.
Easy to make and really hard to fuck up, even for a stupid college student like me.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean,
spam.
you don't have to make it, really, do you?
Maybe he
You
does make it.
I
make
grill it.
spam. Yeah, I've fried spam slices, and that's pretty good. Yeah.
What does it taste? I've never had spam.
It's just
It
like
tastes kind of like what's inside a sausage roll.
yeah.
Oh, no wonder you like it. Like, cut out the
Spam
middleman.
is short for like spiced ham, isn't it?
Spare ham.
Is it spare ham?
No, it's not.
Special.
It could be. It could be.
Supposedly ham. That's what.
Yeah.
I'm with Jack on that. Nice
I
one,
love
Jack.
a bit of spam. Yeah, nice one,
It's
Jack. Well done, Jack.
massive in Hawaii.
Is it?
Is it?
Why?
They love spam.
Why?
I tell you what, a good way is deep fry it. Ooh,
Yeah.
Deep
Well, we
fry
used to go. There was a
in-
restaurant in town in Cheltenham
chef's kiss.
that used to put it in batter and deep fry it, and they would
Yes.
present it to you in a spam tin that was like shorn off at the top.
Okay, that's weird.
It was good.
What, did they cook it in the tin? Did they just throw the whole...
No.
like,
It was
Did they
called
batter
spam
the tin
fritters,
as well?
and they cut it up. It was just presented in the tin, served up
Yeah.
in the tin.
I think
But they were, like,
a long
sticking
time
out.
ago, we did an episode where a hate was pretentious ways to present food in restaurants. I'm sure we've done that.
Oh, that's
And-
sticking something in a tin isn't pretentious.
I don't know.
I think, Nick, I would normally agree with you, but I do feel that anything jutting out of a jagged edge
serrated.
spam tin is not pretentious.
I think it's probably the opposite.
What's
and
the
like-
opposite of pretentious?
It's a near miss.
They call that a Cheltenham grin.
Yeah.
Like if people have got that scar around their face because they've eaten it straight from a Spam tin. That's how you know you're a local.
Yeah, never go straight from tin to mouth.
It is an absolute fucker to get out of the tin, though. Spam.
Yeah.
It takes ages.
Well, because it's been there for at least 5 years.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Maturing.
Probably.
That reminds me, I need to get some Spam.
Yes, you do.
What's its texture like? Is it soft?
It depends how you've cooked it.
Yeah.
Like if it comes out of the tin and it's a lot like corned beef, but it's.
It comes out the tin and you think, "Dear God, what am I doing?" But
Yeah,
then when you actually eat it, it's like, "Oh, this is actually quite nice." It's like surprising every time how nice it is.
Part of the challenge with Spam is getting past that stage. Like,
Yeah.
like it really helps if you've had it before and you know how good it can be. Because at that stage, I reckon a lot of weaker people bail.
Yeah.
So you're like there with a fork and you've got like some Spam like kind of glistening on the end. You're like, like I really like it, but
Yeah.
See, I reckon if you came round, John, and Nick and I cooked you a lovely Spam dinner, before we cooked it, you would look at us and just go, "No."
I think the best way that we could get John into Spam is we don't show him what it looks like before we've cooked it.
Yeah.
We'll
it's
cook
ironically
it.
the best way to get Spam into John. Hey?
Come on.
We'll serve up a delicious Spam dinner. You'll tell us, which you will, how delicious that was, and then you can go away and see what's inside the tin yourself and discover that for yourself.
Yeah.
I'd say put it in a sandwich. If it's hidden in bread, I'd probably.
I'm not sure I'd eat it in a sandwich.
I'd eat it in a sandwich.
If it was cooked, I'd have to do something with it first. I would just put it from the tin into bread.
You don't really want like a sheaf to get in the way of you and the flavour.
No.
That's what you're saying. That's just distractions.
Definitely not.
Just tip it right in, Popeye style.
Is there a lot of juice? Do you get like
No, there's no
squeezings?
juice. No juice.
No, it's not juice.
No
It's
juice.
there's a sort of jelly.
Yeah, it's
kind
just,
of
it's a resin.
opaque, a sort of resin, a natural resin.
A
that forms
natural,
around.
resin.
But rub that on your fence posts, and they're
Oh yeah,
they're
they'll keep
good
for years.
Rub
good all
that
year
on
round.
your fence posts, and you'll get 3 more nights of spring.
Yeah, exactly. Rub it on your gums, and it's really it's a lot like heroin.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like rub it on your fence post. You get 3 more fence posts. It's like they're sprouting.
Kind of like Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah. But they're made of Spam and perish very easily.
Very quickly, yeah.
It's like you draw the curtains at night. It's like a faint yellow glow coming from the garden. It's like, oh, the Spam's active tonight.
The Spam fences are growing children. Come look.
Come gather round the glow of the Spam.
Anyway, we've got another hate here from Daniel Gibbs, friend of the show.
Gibbo.
Gibbo!
The Gibbo.
Gibbo.
I think this is a marginally different Gibbs.
This is
I
a
think there might
different
be
Gibbo.
2 Gibbs. There's
What?
Yeah,
2 Gibbs?
The brothers Gib.
the brothers Gibb. We need a different. He can't be Gibbo then. He's got to
We
be
need
a
to think of
different
something else.
Gibbs Fairy
Gibby.
Dingo.
The Dingo.
Dingo.
There you go. But
Right,
I've given you that nickname, so that's fine. But you can't then introduce yourself. Oh, we've covered this.
Dan, you know everything's coming up. Everything's coming up Dingo for you.
Yeah.
So Daniel the Dingo Gibbs writes, I'm getting a real hatred for certain aspects of eBay.
Oh no.
To explain,
Sorry to hear that,
I got
Dingo.
an-
Yeah,
I got
sorry,
an
Diggs.
eBay account last year and I've been using it quite a lot.
He's late
Here are some
again.
things I hate. One, he's got a list. One,
shit.
automatic bids.
Oh.
The fact you can't see what the upper limit of these are. It sucks.
What?
I got to admit, it's getting a little technical for me now.
I don't trust anybody on eBay. They're all out to get you.
I
Probably.
ordered a vintage computer screen monitor stand
Lovely.
off eBay the other day, and it felt like I was going back in time. It felt like 2007. I'm like, oh, eBay. Ooh, how current.
I've bought loads of shit off eBay. I'm always buying shit off eBay.
Socks,
It's great.
pants.
Socks and pants
There you go.
for 2. Yeah, that's actually forgot about that. Yep.
Oh, it just seems so indecent.
Yeah, they're all gone now. They all fell apart.
But you tracked down like a load of probably like antique Game Boys and stuff. Surely.
Oh, sure. Yeah, most of my retro collection comes from eBay. What a place! But you're right. It does feel like stepping back in time a little bit.
He hates being. There's more. He goes, I hate being outbid at the last second. I shouldn't need to explain this one.
No,
You don't, Dingo. Oh, sorry. This is great. It's just.
I feel like you've not prepared this section, John.
No, I definitely didn't read this one in advance.
Feels a bit raw.
Oh, here's one. Listings that only let you collect in person. This would be annoying anyway. But what do you do in a pandemic?
What are you doing about doing?
Well, I've been selling some stuff on Facebook, and I just like throw it at them.
Yeah.
When they come to the door, just throw it at them.
Get away.
Get away, you disease-ridden filth.
What, they're ringing the doorbell and there's like shotgun holes, kind of everywhere around the frame.
Oh, you got to protect your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but sorry, Dan. I feel we didn't really do you justice there. But you did get a nice nickname.
Yeah,
you got a nickname.
I think that's a bonus for anybody, really.
So Dan, you got a nickname out of it, and you know spam's good. So there's two things.
And I do actually agree with you because I do feel that like eBay. I mean, Nick is probably the most cultured eBay user here.
You
like a yogurt. But it hasn't really moved on, has it, as a platform?
I wouldn't say it has, especially. No, I think being outbid at the last second, that's less eBay's fault and more just something that happens from time to time.
That's poor admin, if anything.
You know, that's like if I trip over in the street and I blame Cheltenham for that.
a lot of people do.
I do feel that, there's like an understanding that when you go into eBay, you should enter with like a knife and a handful of salt, and then it's like, good luck. See you on the other side. It's
a wild frontier, and if you're wild back, then you'll survive. But that's
a harsh landscape for harsh people.
And if there's one thing people say about me, it's like, oh, he's tough enough for eBay, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, here's a cultured hate for our regular correspondent Chris Ray. Zahid writes, Hawk's Hake. My hate is the book Fahrenheit 451.
Oh,
yes, I love that.
Don't get me wrong. I know it's an amazing novel, and Ray Bradbury is one of my favourite authors.
Me too.
But it essentially ends with, and there is a spoiler here.
Oh, okay.
I won't read that one.
Crack on.
I'll probably skip that novel.
He goes, but it essentially ends with, cover your ears, Chris Ray. He goes, a bunch of nerds taking over the world because they can quote all the pretentious books.
Well, that's the basic aim of this show, isn't it? I think.
Now, should we? I think it goes without saying that everyone on this call has read Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah,
I think that's I mean, obviously,
it's the one with Michael Moore in it.
Yes, indeed. No, it's a hefty book, at least 400 pages, as I understand.
Oh.
It's the one with the guy.
And he's
the guy who does the things.
And there's thermometer? Yeah. It's probably a thermometer in it.
Joking aside, I have read the opening 5 pages because I think it was like something in an English lesson. We had to like analyze the opening 5 pages. That's all I've read.
Yeah, I do know why it's called that, but I have not read it.
I've not heard of it or the author, and probably won't remember it after we've recorded this.
In fact, I am blocking it from my memory now. It is gone.
It seems like wasted memory, if I'm honest with you.
So, Zahid, what I would say to you is, using Chris Ray as your litmus test, maybe the book ain't so bad. Like, you've seen the alternative now. So we have just a couple more, and then we'll be moving on. But we have Simon Puggleton IV, a long-time fan of the show, writes, I hate trying to get promoted. It's tough, hard work. It's a shame because he has to prove he's good at a job he already does, and in proving that, he has to impress 3 people who he's never met. Very weird.
Yeah, that sucks. Like the idea that surely you should be trying to impress, or not even having to, people who do know what you do in the company, rather than going to some people who don't know who you are. So you may as well be a fucking stranger to them and expect them to understand that you've been doing a fucking bang up job. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That sucks.
My one defense is I feel because I have such low aspirations in my job, it does like kind of not caring makes it easier.
Yeah, in fact, that's good advice for a lot of things. I think. Yeah,
stop caring, and you won't be
just stop caring
bothered
about it.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, I would advise Simon to not care about the quality of his work, but I do know that he is a frontline key worker, so maybe do care.
Care enough.
Simon, we need you.
Please don't down tools.
We need you to live. Please, I don't want to die. I need you, Simon.
But here's a nice one to kind of sweeten the palate. He does have a love as well, and he says,
how wonderful.
Now, Nick, this may resonate with you. I can't think why, but he says, I love creator projects. Recently, I backed a project on the Kickstarter. a solo RPG idea. Very excited for it. Need I say more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Say more.
Say more.
Stroke my ego, Simon. Yeah, that's a cunning little plug.
Do you want to elaborate?
Let's say there's one person in this call that doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Just for imaginaries.
Let's just imagine.
Let's just pretend that one of us doesn't know what he's talking about.
I am indeed running a Kickstarter at the moment for a solo RPG rulebook that I've created. A solo RPG is a game kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but you play on your own with yourself because we're all alone and sad at the moment, and you can't play D&D with your friends. So why not play it on your own?
Yeah. So it's like D&D, but avoiding any of the awkward social stigma that may come with that because you're on your own, basically.
Yeah. But don't tell anyone you're playing it, because then, the stigma comes in again.
You don't want any interaction whatsoever.
But yeah, it's the way it works is it's like solo RPGs typically work with journaling as their primary mechanic. So it's like you're keeping a journal of your adventures. And my rule book allows you to sort of have random occurrences that happen to you, and then you interpret them. And it's kind of like a writing exercise in a way, but also an adventure set in a fantastical world. And yeah, it's currently on Kickstarter at the moment, and it's doing rather well, which is nice because it's always good to have a little bit of a win.
So without quoting numbers,
Sure.
could you at least say in percentages how much you have exceeded your goal by?
Well, so the way Kickstarter works is it tells you, you set a goal for how much you want to raise. And if you go beyond that in the money that you've raised, it starts to give you a percentage, which obviously no longer makes any sense. So I am now at 10,000% of my goal.
God.
So it's going all right.
It's all right.
It's going okay, yeah.
could do better, but there we go.
Yeah, I'm aiming for 20. But yeah. No, honestly, it's been amazing. And everyone, Simon included, who's got behind it and supported it, you're making my month very exciting and cool. So that's very cool.
So if anybody wanted to find it, Nick, how would they go
if they want to
about
find
doing
it, they could. The best shot is probably going to kickstarter.com and searching for a game called Colossal. And this is very clever because it's spelled
colostomy.
And it's all about
it's a
that.
silent me.
If you want to go on an adventure through somebody's bowels, here's your chance. No. Colossal spelt like a castle. So it's COLOSTLE because it's about a colossal castle, you see.
Classic.
So it's colossal spelt like castle with STLE at the end. And if you search that or solo RPG and Kickstarter, you will find it. It's the one that's 10,000% funded. I cannot stress enough.
It's one that makes all those other scrubs look like losers. You should put a link in the Facebook group.
Yes, I will. I will do that. That's a good idea. Yes. I have had a couple of people comment on the Kickstarter saying that they are listeners of a show called Hate, which is cool. I think Simon was one of them.
Ruh-roh.
So,
Ruh-roh.
Oh, no.
Well, a big thank you to our listeners. You do join our Facebook group if you want to share little gripes and have our ill-informed opinions.
We read them out about once every year.
Yeah,
But
it's a special occasion when we.
it is, but if we have lots, then you'll force our hand.
If you send lots, it means we don't have to think of any of our own.
Yeah,
and we can just do a
special
listener
episode.
show, and we don't have to think of any.
And believe me, those are holidays from this
maybe
terrible burden of doing this god-awful
exactly.
show.
So maybe pull your fingers out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, loves. I think we need to bring some loves.
Chris Ray, kick us off.
Chris Ray.
Snow.
Chris Ray. Rev. Snow.
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 I love snow. I love it.
Oh yeah, of course. This is loves. Sorry, I got
loves.
so confused then.
I love it.
I thought you hated snow. I was like,
it reminds me of my inner child.
yeah,
Because we've had snow
is
recently.
great.
We had snow last weekend, and we went out the back and we built snowmen, and it was really, really good.
It was good snow as well.
Snow.
Like
Proper snow.
was.
Proper snow.
Proper
It was
snow, yeah.
The kind of snow you hope for, and we never get, but we did.
It's the kind of snow that makes me, empty an aerosol out my bedroom window every
Yeah.
night, because
Got to assist that global warming.
yeah, it's great.
Well, Liz
the kind of snow-
Liz revealed to me she'd never built a snowman. So last week we built a snowman together,
Oh, that's lovely.
and the dog was only a minor hindrance.
The family
sorry.
across the road from us built possibly the largest snowman I've ever seen in my life.
Very good.
Wow.
Very impressive. They were rolling like in a cartoon, like when someone's rolling like a massive ball of snow. They were actually doing that up the road. It was very impressive.
Because I rolled it across the field out the back of our house. It was bloody hard work, but it was very very rewarding when you see the finished snowman.
We went to the field across from our house, and it was full of snowmen. Like loads of people had just been having a field day making snowmen. And what was great is that every single one had a quirky Lovecraftian horror element to each of them. Each of them looked like a haunting, like semi-humanoid figure that would haunt your dreams. And not only did I go around photographing all of them with great fervor to add to a sort of database of monsters that I've got in my phone now, but there was also a group of kids, like 3 kids, who were just going from snowman to snowman, beelining, just kicking the shit out. So I was like one snowman ahead of them, taking pictures to record them for posterity.
That's an interesting thing though. Like if you open your curtains, you've got that big field out there, and it's pristine white, and you see a single snowman on it. You're like, oh, that's charming. That's like a postcard. You see 2 snowmen. You're like, oh, that's industrious. At what point does it become creepy? I feel like 50 snowmen is a problem.
We looked out the back because you can see out onto the field from one of the windows in our house, and it was just an army out there, and it's like, that's mildly threatening.
That's a bit scary. And they all look a bit weird because they're all made by a different hand. And so they all have different ideals of either how lazy they might be, how bored they got midway through, or their potential idea of what a person looks like.
How many carrots did you see?
None.
We had one, and I think the dog ate it.
Because snow is so rare, like in the UK. Like if it happens, you've got to get on it. Like, and I think you're not going to have a carrot to hand.
Well, last Sunday I was supposed to be doing important house and work related things, and I just wanted to go out and play. I just went, can't we go out and play?
You're meant to be doing your accounts.
I was. That's exactly what I was supposed to be doing.
You're just running around the car like, whoop, 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 whoop.
I was like, I want to go out and play.
I saw one snowman who had a mask on. So
nice.
That's
nice. Clever.
That's topical.
That's one. That's a mask that an actual person will no longer be wearing. Then that's good news.
Yeah. So
that's
that. I guess
that's that.
I can't really say much more.
Okay, so okay,
it's Nick's turn, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that Nick exists.
Take over Nick's spot.
It's very easy to forget I exist. I make very little impact on the world. My love, I've discovered a new crisp.
Oh,
John,
what's your love?
Swing and a miss. So, listen, shut up and listen to me. This is my time, and I'm going to tell you about some new crisps I found. They're called. I've got them here.
Oh no!
Oh hello.
They're called Curly.
Oh my goodness me!
Right. I don't think they are of this country.
This earth.
Yeah.
They are. Get this. They are peanut and chili flavor.
Oh my god.
And they're like what's-its. They're like puffs.
Oh.
Okay.
They are incredible. They taste like satay, like a satay curry.
That sounds nice.
And I bought a pack at random because I thought, peanut flavoured puffs? That sounds mental. I got it from a corner shop really close to us. Went home, ate the bag in about 4 minutes.
Nice.
And it's a big bag. It's a big boy. And so I went back that evening and I bought all the rest of them that they had, which was like 5 more bags.
And I ate like 5 bags and a cashier's finger.
Yeah. When I went up to the counter, I said, "Do you have any more packs of curlies?"
Spitting them all over the glass.
Do you have any bags of curlies in the back?
I think any new food substance that causes you to put down the hot dog for like 5 minutes.
Like the one I'm always holding. I always have my lucky hot dog in one hand, which makes a lot of my daily tasks difficult. But I put it down for this.
Because you said, like, my love is some crisps, and I've got them here. And my question is, did you bring a pack up in preparation, or are they never less than an arm's length away from you?
So I always have one pack in each room of the house.
That's a good call.
So that way, if I want a curly, I can have one. I've bought a lot of bulldog clips as well, so I can like close the packs so that they stay fresh. But they're still good stale. Amazingly, they're incredible. These new crisps. I suggest you find some.
It's weird. It's like
once again, we don't have a sponsor for this show.
what was never born can never die. So, it's like they're always fresh.
Yeah, I mean, the ingredients, it's really weird. The ingredients is just a black box, like just an opaque black box. And that's it. There's no words in it, which is weird. And when you shine a black light on it, there's symbols there that I've never seen. And that doesn't mean that they're alien symbols or anything like that. It's just that I don't know them. But
yeah, and it's like, and the address on the back, like all the text on the back, like kind of looks different to everyone who views it. Like
yeah, that's it. And when you read it, it puts pictures into your mind, which then come alive in your dreams.
Yeah.
But that's
and when you scan
cultures.
the barcode, the machine just starts screaming, and it's not even like an electric scream. It sounds like a human scream. Yeah,
that was weird because I bought 5, obviously, so there were 5 screams when I bought.
And they were all different.
Each scream was different. Yeah, one of them I think was a zebra screaming.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard a zebra scream? I just knew it was a zebra somehow.
For some reason.
How I knew that. But I guess zebras are living barcodes, so it does make sense.
that is true. Yeah,
That is what they refer to them as,
way.
nature's barcode.
So
I've got a love.
Oh,
Curly's, buy them now.
I've got a love.
Go on.
I love. It's got quite a crisp. I love urban exploration. That's what I love.
oh.
That's interesting.
What
have you been doing
urban area have you been exploring?
Well, not me, because I don't go anywhere
right, fair
anymore.
enough.
But I've found some fun videos online of people. It's a little bit illegal, but
Nice.
kind of
As the
like
best things are.
finding like abandoned subway stations and stuff, and going into like
Oh, I do love shit like this. Yes.
yeah, going into the places they're not supposed to go into. It's very interesting. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Like there's this dude who he's a bit weird actually because he doesn't have much of like an online presence, but like I found this video and it was like exploring bits of New York with this dude, and they were like exploring underground New York with like Steve Duncan, as if like Steve Duncan was an important person or something.
Sounds
it.
But like they went into the underground where they shouldn't, and they found like an abandoned station, which is pretty cool. And he had in another thing, he had like a tool for getting like manhole covers up.
Oh yeah.
So they were just like walking around New York in like at 2 a.m. and he was like, in a park, and like, okay, coast is clear, and he just like put the hook down and like lift this massive manhole cover up, and then they go down into like this ancient kind of sewer, and it was just so like weird and bizarre. And there's another guy who he's a bit weird because I think he walks the line between. I can't tell if he might be like a secret asshole or something. Like, he's breaking into places and stuff, and I can't tell, like, he seems to do a lot of stuff in, like, the old Soviet bloc, like, tons of, like, abandoned buildings and stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
And we watched one earlier where, I don't know where the hell it was, because he doesn't obviously tell where it's happening, but it was like an old Soviet bunker, like a kind of, I guess, like a nuclear bunker. It was built in, like, 1971. And to get in, obviously grim, like to get in, they had to go through this pipe, which was just big enough for like a human to like squeeze through.
Oh my God.
And halfway down the pipe, because it kind of curved, there was like a valve, like a kind of disc.
Right.
So you had to like squeeze around the disc.
Oh my God.
And then some previous explorers had taken like a hacksaw down with them. And they'd cut like a hole in the side of a pipe, like the size of a tea tray.
Right.
So you'd have to like squeeze down on your belly
God.
through this really claustrophobic kind of pipe, then go
do that.
through a valve, and then lower yourself down through this kind of
Hole.
this tiny hole.
This seems like a lot of effort for something that somebody built over.
Well, yeah, that's a weird thing. And then they got into this massive underground complex, which was just like room after room after room, which was abandoned. And they found a room full of shoes.
Oh,
That's not what you want.
We're back to shoes again.
They found like rooms of just like tons of like boxes all kind of sealed up. And they opened one, it had like a Geiger counter in it.
Whoa.
They found like what I guess would have been like a church. Like it was meant to they found a room full of like massive tanks of water. And and they found, and that's where they worked out it was 1971 because they had a guy who could read Russian, and he looked at a label, and it's like they built it and abandoned it. It was insane.
That's insane.
This
Can you Share the link for that. I want to see that.
Yeah, I will. It's pretty like, and the idea, and then right at the end, there was like a little clip after the credits, if you will, of them like escaping out of like an underground station, like a subway. So I don't know if it was somehow like under a city. It was insane.
Well, there's a lot of cities, because we went to Seattle a couple of years ago, and the whole of Seattle is built on top of another city that was just abandoned.
Lowell.
Yeah. And that's
the low town.
The low town. But they do tours of that. We went there legally to the low town.
That's probably for the best.
I'm always amazed about that sort of thing, because aren't there places in London you can go
I'm sure
where
there would be,
there's like an underground street,
Yeah.
which is basically like a Victorian street that they just bricked over.
Well, there's a place in Edinburgh you can do that, and Ali and I did that. We went there, and they've got there's this, because Edinburgh's a lot of Edinburgh is built on old medieval Edinburgh, and there is literally a street that you can walk down. It's crazy steep, but it's got buildings on the sides. But then you look up, and there's just like sort of structures, and then just ceiling. And then there's a street up there.
How does that even work?
I know. I couldn't get my head around it, because I was desperately trying to get my head into like, this is where people lived and walked and worked, you know. But there was a ceiling on it. It was so weird.
But who makes the decision one day? Like, I'm looking out my window now of like the street I live on. If someone goes, yeah, I think we need the world to be like 30 foot higher, so we're just going to like brick over all your houses. That's insane.
Someone's ultimately just got to make that call.
Well, apparently
at some
part
point,
of what someone's like, yeah, let's build over it. Yeah, the issue with Edinburgh was that they were building higher and higher because they needed to like have more people, obviously. And then it got to the point that the height was unsafe with the current building technology they had, so they just raised the floor. Then you're not as high anymore.
I think in Seattle the toilets are overflowing, so they just built on top. I think that is pretty much true. I think I've nutshelled it a bit there, but
to be honest, that is the city planning equivalent of John putting a rug over that floorboard.
Yeah. Well, we can't fix that. We'd have to tear the whole thing down.
Let's just build another city. Done.
Have you seen how much human feces is flowing down the high street right now? We can't fix that. No one can fix that.
We're not going to fix that. I'll just build on top of it.
Just start again.
Got to get like a mountain's worth of dirt, ship it in,
yeah,
and then just pour it on everything.
Pour the dirt on
pretty
everything.
much.
And
then it's someone else's problem.
Yeah, it's the folk who get stuck down there. It's their problem then.
Yeah, we didn't evacuate.
Yeah, we didn't tell anyone what we were doing, but you know.
Well, I guess on that note, if we've exhausted that avenue of pleasure,
a city joke.
I meant to do that.
That was clever.
Yeah, very good.
So we've come to the moment in our rigid and unchanging format where we have to decide what's won, love or hate.
I like snow, but if someone called themselves the Icicle, I wouldn't like that very much. So I'll go with hate.
In order to make it exciting, I'm going to go with love.
Ooh.
Put it on, John. Put it on, John. What is John going to do?
Oceans or cityscapes, John?
I'm going to go love, because I really do hate the ocean, and I feel I want to spite Chris Rayman the Rev Ray, basically.
Yeah. Call me the Rayman.
So on that note,
what an episode it's been.
What a time we've had, and what a time you, listener, must have had with us.
We need to do our thank yous, as we always do. So I would like to thank Alice for her constant and unwavering support.
I'd like to thank the ocean for giving me something to strive against.
Yep.
I would like to thank our window cleaner, because I think he's due soon. And the windows are a bit dirty. So I'd like to thank him in advance for cleaning the windows.
Great.
I'd also like to thank the previous resident of your house who continues to receive Colgate through the post.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thanks to him. My teeth are improving daily.
They're looking great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, beaming. I can't wait until I'll get to smell that minty aura from a safe distance.
Yeah, once again. Yeah, if there's one thing we know about being in a room with Chris,
I'll just come and breathe through the letterbox. That'll be my next job.
Oh, that'd be great, actually, if you don't mind.
Minty freshness through the letterbox.
Yeah, there's no coronavirus threat.
Definitely not.